episode of the Bad Ideas podcast with Arsh Sanwarwala. How'd I do? Did I get
Hey,
it right?
Nick. Yeah, you got it right.
Last name?
Yeah,
All right. I've got
very excited.
I'm 50-50 on the year, and you have so many syllables. I was like, I'm gonna just fall on my face, but your coaching is valuable. So, a phonetics coach as well as the CEO of ThrillX Design. So how did you get there? Like, what brought you to where you are today, and building your team?
And as the work eventually transitioned into an agency, just like many other, people in our space. So yeah, it's been a wild ride since then, but very fun.
Awesome. Well, super grateful to have you here because I think just by nature of your work, like from freelancing journey to agency journey, you probably see a lot of things where you're like, I love your business, but I don't think I can make you successful. So you've seen a lot of really bad ideas in practice, and I think that's our theme here, looking at some really ridiculous stuff.
What's funny as well is we've worked with a lot of companies where the idea is on paper doesn't look that good, but actually like they're killing it as well. Yeah. So it's very, very interesting. I don't know, like, yeah, we can get into that too. Yeah.
I have a friend down here, I'm in South Florida right now, who runs a candle business.
Right.
The hook for the business is, I think, totally ridiculous, but he's wildly successful. It's like,
it's crazy what people will buy.
Sense. Doesn't make it. I would put this on the show as a bad idea, but he'd show up in his nice car and embarrass me. So without further ado, you think good time to reveal our bad idea?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So quick review for the audience. We'll reveal this awful idea. You and I will judge it to death. And then when we run out of bad stuff to say, we'll see if we can put on our thinking hats and make it something really good. Sound good?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, sweet. So bad idea for today is really bad. It's actually impossible. We've never had an impossible idea. This one's impossible. This is scent-based websites. Designing websites that emit scents corresponding to different pages.
CENTS.
Like scents.
Oh, scents. Okay, like that.
Like you can, like scent-based, like you can smell.
Okay.
You remember the like magazines where you get like a perfume ad and you can actually smell the perfume on the page?
Yeah.
I think that's the concept. Like somehow get your machine to emit a scent.
Yeah, that's tough. That's actually like physically impossible, I think.
I wonder, this is my mind going to the positive immediately, but I have a friend who worked on this. It was like a cannabis curing technology, and I should have him on the show because he's super smart, but I can't speak to how the tech worked, but they built this container where you'd put your product and it would help it cure and kind of mature over a long period of time. And it did so by manipulating the atmosphere inside of the container. And by doing that, they also stumbled upon like technology that could manipulate the scent too. So scent is very closely linked to flavor. So they could actually change the flavor of your product by manipulating the atmosphere around it. And that was all electronic. So I'm almost wondering if you could find a way to use software to rewire components inside of a computer to actually get it to do the same thing. Because scent is just a vibration at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But even assuming you could, imagine if you could smell a site. Ugh. Like how many people would take that to very dark places very quickly?
Yeah. I'm already thinking actually on the other side of like how it could be a good idea. Just because like with e-commerce clients, right? Like for example, any product where it's very scent based, like, Keto Cookie Company or something where you can smell that bakery type of smell, but that's on the how it could be good. But yeah, I mean, from a bad perspective, it's just the feasibility of like that actually going there. And I'm also just jokingly, like we work with a lot of CBD companies, so that would also be quite funny.
Yeah, right.
Because
you just smell brownies when you're.
That would be quite crazy. Yeah, with the CBD like website, imagine going through that and just smelling it. You'd get high just off of going through the website.
Yeah. I think this is almost like it's like a bad idea because it's impossible, but it's kind of a good idea from a marketing perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
We have this ice cream place that I'm formally addicted to, and like I'm formally addicted. I have to go there at least like 4 times a week. But yeah, I'm probably like sacrificing a year of life every 2 weeks because of the amount of ice cream I eat from this place. But they hook me because they make their own waffles and they make their own chocolate. And they have
Right.
a fan that blows it straight through the front door. So you can't walk by the place without smelling chocolate and waffles. And you can't smell waffles and not want to go in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So imagine if you could do that on a site, or like even better, mobile site, or like a mobile ad. You're scrolling through your feed and all of a sudden you smell waffles. Game over.
Yeah, I think it depends on the context of the website, like whether it's good or bad, right? I know,
Yeah.
like for CBD, I'm sure some people would love to be able to smell. We just go through the website. It would probably prompt them to buy even more,
Yeah.
and go through the site more. But yeah, I can see where like I'm trying to think industry or scenario where it would be bad to like be able to
Practical
smell.
jokes. Like
Yeah,
imagine if someone could text you a bad smell in the middle of class. Like that's that's not a good idea. I mean,
that's
I
true.
feel like the tech you'd have to make this possible would be awful for a
Yeah,
lot of people. Imagine corporate warfare, like someone's making an investor presentation and suddenly the room smells awful. Like someone would figure that out, right?
yeah, that's true. Yeah, we have like a medical company too. That would also be pretty bad. Like a
Yeah.
company that's selling medical equipment or something. Like imagine just smelling that like
Yeah.
medical experience or whatever you want to call it, like a hospital type, yeah, smell.
Yeah.
Not the most pleasant.
Some things don't go together. And then, I mean,
Exactly.
we haven't even talked about VR. I guess like you don't do a lot of web browsing in virtual reality, but that's the direction everything's going. Like, how do we make it immersive? It's not really immersive if one entire sense
Yeah.
is blocked off. So imagine if you can smell. What does that do to like war games like Call of Duty? Are you smelling? That's just so bad.
That would be crazy.
Yeah. Like gun smoke and blood. I don't know.
Yeah,
Crazy.
that would definitely be not pleasant. Yeah.
What's the, I mean, just from your experience, what's like the craziest thing you've ever seen someone try to do with their website? Like something just
Yeah.
totally wild.
So, I mean, there's obviously like from a website perspective itself, like, over the top like music kind of playing when you get when you get to the website. So like we talk about sense, but there's also auditory, and a lot of people incorporate that too. It can work well in certain scenarios, right? Like if you're trying to create a immersive experience. More so than like the craziest thing that someone's done, it's just like the company itself. Like one of our clients is a shotgun product for like alcohol and beer and other like canned beverages, and it's just like craziness to me that like how they actually sell it and how they do so well. I love them. They're like one of our favorite clients, but yeah, they released like a metal version of that shotgun tool, and it's like selling for hundreds of dollars. So it's crazy how, yeah, it's
I
very
want to drink
interesting, like
so
all the
bad.
different brands that people sell. Yeah.
That's wild. Yeah, I think on web, as much as this is a bad idea, it does bring up a lot of good points. Like web on its own hasn't changed a ton, in spite of the fact that now there's like virtual reality, mixed reality,
Mhm.
augmented reality. You can stream so much more media. I feel like, remember, what was it, like 6, 7 years ago, everyone had a huge like background video in their hero section,
Right, right.
but it would load super slow. But today, like everything's so fast, you can put like a gigabyte there and it works totally fine.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
but everyone still does the same thing. Like
Yeah.
we've had these like long form section based sites for like 6 years, 7 years. There hasn't been a lot of evolution I've seen there.
Hey, Nick, are you still there with me? Hey, Nick, can you hear me?
Yeah, just lost you for
Okay.
a sec.
Yeah,
Lost
I
you for a
think
sec.
I don't know if it's my internet or your internet, but your screen is blurry now.
Yeah, I think here, let me take a look. It just totally died on me. So
Yeah.
I've got really good signal now. But
Okay.
either way, we'll just cut it up,
Yeah, yeah,
make it
no
look
worries. Yeah. I'm just
consistent.
gonna close some tabs too. But I think it's, let's see. You can hear me okay?
Yeah, yeah, sounds
Okay,
good.
cool. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. I
Yeah.
don't know what happened there.
Yeah. The question back was just that the like technology has advanced dramatically. The way that we consume media and the amount of media we can stream over broadband is like 1,000x higher today than it was 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
But the way people do web hasn't changed much. Like it's still a lot of static. section based single page site. Like
That's true.
the trends haven't evolved a ton. Maybe
Yeah.
someone does need to make a way for you to smell the product. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, the VR thing is very interesting too, right? Like the idea of like experiencing something, like going on a website and actually experiencing it like as if it's almost there in real life, or like augmented reality as well. Like I don't know if there's ever going to be a time when it gets to that stage, but it's very interesting to see. To your point, like nothing has really changed over the last few years. The principles still apply, but yeah, I mean, there's all these like quick technologies and quick things that people do.
I think
Yeah,
that needs to be our shameless plug. People need to call you to figure out the next phase,
that's true. Thank you.
and hire you guys to pull it together. Um, all right, let's switch to the positive. How do we make this good?
Yeah.
So
So
you can't do scent based, but can you do anything with like a scent as an idea or a prompt? I don't know. What are you
yeah,
thinking?
I mean, from my feasibility side is my business side's coming in here because obviously feasibility wise, it's kind of hard to like get someone to smell through the screen. But I mean, I can see so many applications for it, right? Like of it being a good idea. Like again, any e-commerce product where like you're trying to sell on the experience aspect of it, I could see that working really well. Call of Duty, not so much. But yeah, in terms of making it even better, like it would be very cool if you kind of, this is going a completely different direction, but like all of your senses. Like if you're able to like put in everything as you're going on a website. So auditory senses. I don't know if that's actually a good idea. That might actually be bad, but yeah, just another interesting thing.
I feel like where my head is going is extract the website. If you can find a way to like repurpose technology or parts of the motherboard in a computer to slightly influence the scent around the machine,
Yeah.
you unlock so many new channels for content. Like imagine movies, you're going like through different locations and you get like a subtle different smell based on where the person is. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be super pronounced, but even subtle enough just so you notice, it changes the way that your mind is going to perceive what you're being shown.
Yeah.
That could be
Movies is
really
actually an
cool.
interesting one. Yeah. I could see that the sense aspect of it working really well. Yeah.
Yeah. And like you said, for any ecom touching the food category, conversion rates are going to go through the roof. So just by building that hardware and or software as a product, you already have a baked in market that's going to do everything they can to get it installed. And it's probably a pretty good like acquisition target for not a Microsoft, but like an IBM or an Apple
Yeah.
to like bake into their system.
Oh, so like you're thinking
The
even like
iScent.
when they sell you the computer, it's like already baked into that.
Well, you're going to need hardware, right?
Yeah.
To
True.
change the way you smell things.
Can't be software. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder, I'm Googling right now because I'm so curious. Do you think there's anything, actually, I'm chat GPTing right now. Do you think there's anything out there, like any hardware, electronic hardware that can modify scent?
I would be very surprised if there is. That
Can
would be pretty cool.
modify.
Electronic.
Let's see what GPT tells us. Yes, there are electronic devices that can modify or manipulate scents. These devices are often referred to as digital scent technology or olfactory technology, are designed to emit, control, and alter aromas. They can be used for various purposes, including virtual reality environments for aromatherapy.
But these
Wow.
aren't like computers necessarily, right? Or like desktops. I think these are more like other devices, right? I think that's what I'm seeing as well. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not scent diffusers.
Yeah.
They're big right now. It doesn't look like you could bake it on, but hopefully someone from Apple is watching this and they're going to include us on their cap table when they release the iScent product.
It could be an add-on too. It could be like you can buy your normal, laptop or computer, and then if you want the ability to emit scents, you can have that as like an add-on feature
Yeah.
to your thing. I wonder though, like, yeah, like how you would, from a business side, how you would price that, and would like people actually be willing to buy that? Because I can see it working for like the website owner's perspective, right? But like imagine you and I, like if we were to buy that, I guess what's the level of control? Is it like every website I go to will emit scents, right? Or can I choose like what sites I can emit scents from and which ones I can't?
Yeah, well, if it's hardware level, that's a good point. Like you'd have to
Yeah.
be able to control it, right? But you think like it'd be so easy to market, if like Apple, for example, bakes it into a product and then
Yeah.
everyone who has the new phone is like making fun of how much they can smell. Everyone is going to want to have that phone, right?
Yeah.
There's definitely somebody at like Samsung and Apple is watching this episode and being like, that's how I'm going to beat them. Farts. There's the key. College kids would love this. But think about like the whole dating environment too. Like scent is such an important thing in early
True.
relationships. Like imagine if you could smell your partner when you're I mean the fact that the tech exists, someone just needs to scale it down and put it on a phone. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, actually, the phone application would work. Yeah, like because then you could do it on the go, right? Like if
Mm-hmm.
you're at a coffee shop or something, you could just actually that could work quite well. You just always
Mm-hmm.
have it on you, and you could smell.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Coffee shop. I mean, you just brought up you could exit to Starbucks. They could start emitting like coffee scent from the app whenever they want you to buy
yeah.
and then send you a coupon 2 minutes afterwards.
Anything food related, like I think it would kill it there. Yeah,
Or then you know how like Amazon and Apple and Facebook are working so hard to predict what you want to buy.
yeah, yeah.
Like before
Like
they show you an
recommendations.
ad, they could start. If you're thinking about shoes, they could release that rubber scent. Be like, you're in the
It could
shoes
prime
now.
you up. Yeah, even on advertising, this is going another direction. But like even if you're scrolling on social media, like imagine being able to like smell the product or smell the ad
Yeah.
before clicking on it, right? And that kind of like incentivizes you to click on it, on the
Mm-hmm.
ad or whatever it is. That could also
Yeah.
work quite well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
And not
Google ads.
limited to things like, yeah, right? And Google's more for like practical things. But think about cars. Imagine if you're building your car and you get to that reveal screen and you can smell the new car smell.
That's true.
It
Yeah.
feels like, and then you combine that with AR so you can smell the car and you can see it in your garage. Like you're telling your subconscious that it's your car. That's a pretty, somebody is watching this episode. It's like, we're doing this.
Yeah, it actually could. I can see more positives actually, surprisingly.
Well, I think we just didn't know that. I didn't know this existed. I knew
Yeah,
I
that's
knew about the
crazy.
the
Yeah.
marijuana thing, but we're going to find out that all of these hardware pieces are the size of a Zamboni, so you can't really put it in a cell phone. But um, that would be a good business.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the first bad idea that actually kind of is a good idea.
Yeah, I can even think of like monetization models too, where it's like a two type system, right? Where you're selling it to like a website owner, a business owner, like a Starbucks or a coffee shop or whatever. And then there's
Mm.
the people that are actually buying the devices or the products where the devices emit the senses. Yeah. So after this
Hey,
podcast, we gotta come up with our
patent this bad
patent
boy.
it. Yeah.
People have to, you'll be the first vendor with a license to actually install it. No, but that's brilliant. Somebody needs to pay for the infrastructure to maintain and release an interface with all this tech. It's so wild to imagine how much of our attention goes into the like digital consumption,
Yeah.
and it's totally ignoring one major sense. I suppose the next you go to is touch, but that I feel like touch is closer because they can manipulate screens. Your touch screen or touchpad on your computer can move.
That
That's
would
pretty
be,
near term.
yeah, touch would be next level. Like,
I think that's near term. I just feel like no one's really thought about scent
yeah.
until you and I made this podcast. Now everyone's going to think about scent, but um, wild.
Yeah,
Totally.
touch would be nuts. Even using the dating example.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you think of any brands that would use a scent unrelated to their product to help sell it?
A scent unrelated to their product.
Yeah, like think about brands where the scent is actually a deterrent to purchasing
Yeah.
behavior. So they would like actually use the scent as an advertising tactic to make it seem like they're not in that category.
So a scent that would motivate someone to purchase, but it's not related to that purchase itself, right? Like it's
Yeah,
not going to incentivize them. Yeah.
I'll give you an example. Do you guys have Equinox gyms up
Yeah.
there?
Yeah. Yeah, we do. Yeah.
So they promote. It's even on their website, like the eucalyptus towelettes that you can get like at the
Right.
end
Right.
of a workout. And I think they do that deliberately because the smell of a gym is both intimidating and off-putting to
Right.
people.
Yeah.
I imagine like you go to their website and if they could emit some sort of scent, they'd make it smell like a spa when it still smells like a gym. It's a gym.
Right.
But, to subconsciously communicate that this is a little different.
Yeah. So it would motivate you to then go with Equinox, right? Because it's like
Yeah.
it's using that gym smell to kind of incentivize you. Yeah.
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 Oh,
Let
you
me
think
think.
like spas, like massage, what are they called? They're spas, right? Places
Like
you
a
go to get
resort or
like yeah, maybe it's just a spa, but like that does massages, like those places don't smell great. I mean, they
yeah.
try, but it gets really hot and there's I don't know. There's just a lot of stuff going on in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that'd be an area where like you could take advantage of positive scent to kind of change that perception a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, even just using like I'm going back to the Call of Duty example, but like recently, like something that's been top of mind, we came across a gas mask company. So they sell gas masks. So I'm just thinking, and like their target audience is like survivalists, right? Like people who are, want to prep.
Preppers. Yeah.
Yeah, preppers. Yeah. So I'm just thinking, like, what scent could be emitted to like, it would actually, so it's not following your example, but like, you could, you could give them the scent of like fires or like things going
Dust.
wrong, like just
Yeah.
war, and that would probably get them to buy. Yeah, dust,
Yeah.
fire, smoke. Yeah, yeah,
There's something here for sure. This is so wild to think that like the click and purchase behavior that we have now can be so easily influenced.
yeah,
And then you have like you customer reviews like on Amazon where people are showing you the product and you can actually like smell it too. It's a complete experience. Imagine unboxings if you could like smell the tape and the cardboard and like the product coming out. That's
I'm
crazy.
curious to ask your perspective as well, because like you guys do Google ads. Like, how would that work on Google? Do you see any application being there? Because right now, to incentivize click through, it's just meta title and description, right? And that's kind
Yeah.
of all you have. But imagine adding that extra element.
Well, the problem with Google is hierarchy, and I think that's where like I'm probably short on Google over the next 3 or 4 years.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because I think like ChatGPT is the first of these LLMs, but they're really just search tools. Like as intelligent as it looks, it's a referencing tool just on another level. And Google won't be able to pivot away from what they have without pissing off their advertisers. So, like, by nature of behavior, as more people adopt LLMs, like, they're going to move into those tools. Now, I don't think Google's had a transformative new product in like 20 years. They're not good at pivoting. So, yeah, I think that's going to die. And I think the challenge with them is because they're still trying to make everyone happy. Like on a search page, you have so many different results and you couldn't have competing scents with all of them. And sometimes they get it wrong. Like as good as they are, generally speaking, they were kind of like the lesser of evils. I don't think Google's ever been the best search engine. It's just been the easiest to use.
Yeah.
That they've won the marketing game. But you still get random things. So could you imagine loading up a page of search listings and you have like 9 or 10 different listings and one of them is totally different and you
Yeah.
can smell it? You know, you're just ruining it for everybody. So I think what AI is going to do is make search a little more intelligent and narrow down the swath of results you get because they can more intelligently qualify what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And I think in that context, scent is really interesting because like instead of right now you have the search listing and then you click to the experience. Like those are your only two options. But AI is powerful enough to layer in more. So like maybe you can click into the site or you can smell the product or you can pull it up in an XR experience. Like maybe more of that lives inside of the search console
Yeah.
or AI chat, whatever you want to call it. And I think that's where things are going. Just like no one's built a scent-based website before, no one's like starting to put this stuff together. I think everyone's still so hopped up on the fact that it looks like it's talking to me. So like they're not figuring out what
Scent-based
it's
AI
actually doing.
would be nuts. Like
Yeah,
imagine, because like Midjourney you use for images, right? You just put whatever prompt in there. Imagine like a prompt builder for
for scent.
scents.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing.
Yeah.
You could have your own business, like scent. You know how there's like beat makers, like they
Yeah,
just
yeah,
make
yeah.
beats and sell them to artists. You could have like scent makers. They just make scents and sell them. I'm sure that exists somewhere, but it's not digital.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Crazy.
ask you something. Oh yeah, about. But do you guys ever use AI tools to build front end, like to write like CSS or build libraries for you?
Yeah, occasionally we will. But I think like the bigger application for AI for us is more on the research side of things. Like we've been using it a lot for customer personas, like, just
It's a
giving it a bunch of
referencing
data.
tool.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Or even
Yeah.
just ideation or like, coming up with different hypotheses. And then obviously we don't take that at face value. Like we have to
Yeah.
iterate upon it and improve upon it. But yeah, we've used it more for those applications. But for coding, I mean, like it's just going to keep getting better and better over time, which is crazy. Yeah.
It would. I mean, it's getting pieces. What's been really wild for me. I mess around with Python because
Oh,
it's
nice.
fun.
Yeah.
And you think like Python's a fairly old language and it's super super dominant. So you think that with the amount of information in public libraries that LLM would be pretty proficient, and the amount of basic things it gets wrong in perpetuity is kind of insane. Like even
Yeah.
when you give it code that you're running and explain the error, it still takes 4 or 5 iterations to modify it. And I know there's like 3 people watching this that are like, your prompts are bad, but that's not the point. The point is that something that is truly intelligent that has access to functional libraries shouldn't take that much back and forth to be able to understand. And I think what it just revealed to me was the response in natural language is most of the appeal right now. The intelligence isn't really there yet.
Yeah.
So it's just like this, right? Like there's scent-based machines that are the size of a Zamboni that are really cool, don't have market appeal. AI is kind of there too. Like the learning part is still pretty primitive, but it does have a cool package that people
Yeah.
really like to use. So folks like you who are using it for referencing, like that's the value. It can find so much faster and save you guys a lot of time. That's the huge value.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just gonna go off course. Just
No, do
thinking
it. Do it. That's the point. That's
I
the
was just
point.
thinking about Google Ads. And I don't know why I thought of this, but you brought up the point about competitors, right? And like having 9 different scents. You could sabotage your competitors too. Like, imagine like, you could bid for a term, right? Their keyword, and then, sabotage them with like a really bad scent. That could actually be a very good use case there.
Well, I
That's
mean,
like,
just think about corporate warfare, right? Like it's not
yeah,
even in advertising. Imagine like IBM and HP competing, and like HP finds a way to get their processors into the air conditioning of a specific area, and like starts pumping sense in there, or turning up the heat on a conference room, or causing power failures. You ever notice like you work with tech companies and they always have internet issues?
yeah, yeah.
Isn't that insane? It's
Like
like we're an
downtime and
internet
stuff too.
company. Like we're trying to have a virtual Zoom call and we can't get online, or like somebody can't share something. It's like it
Yeah,
always happens to work out that way. And then you have these like oil companies, everything works fine. Or you don't need it. It's totally fine. Somebody's there. Conspiracy theory. Cool. All right. Well, this was super fun. I think we've actually validated that this idea is kind of cool.
yeah,
Somebody just needs to make the tech practical, and then you guys need to patent the implementation. So everyone needs to come to ThrillX to get everything together. How do people follow you or connect with you if they want to chat more?
yeah, for sure. So our website is just ThrillX. That's ThrillX design.
Hmm.
And LinkedIn, just Arsh Sanwarwala. You can find me there, pretty active there. Yeah,
Awesome, cool. Thank you so much for coming on. This was fun to riff. When you patent this bad idea, I think we should make it illegal for video games because that's just creepy.
we can do a joint collaboration. It's all good. We'll both take credit for it.
We'll see where it goes. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Nick.